What's poppin', people? It's your boy Smasher here, back with another video. Today we got 7.1.5 and we're going to be fighting the Punishing Angel boss. Now, before we get started, I just want to say that it was really tough for me to pick an easy path for this quest because I didn't feel like any of the bosses were easy. So I decided to go for Punishing Angel as the easiest boss. However, if you do have Scorpion, I recommend not taking this path. I recommend fighting the Night Carnage boss. And there's a Mystic path. Basically, you want to use your Mystic champs like Dr. Doom and Absorbing Man. You want to use Mystic champs that don't do Nullify or Stagger. And go through that path and then use Scorpion to take out Night Carnage. However, I decided to pick this path. It's a skill path. You want to bring your skill champs that purify. And yeah, I did use all 5 stars for this quest just to show you guys that you can do this with 5 stars. You know, I've said many times in my videos that I do use like 6 stars in my videos, but you can use 5 stars and it's just going to take longer. So I just want to show you guys that. As you can see, the video is 20 minutes. So this path did take quite a while because I was using 5 stars. If I was using my 6 stars, this would have went way faster, but I just want to show you guys that you can use 5 stars. And yeah, I did die a few times as well, but we didn't use any items, so that's fine. That's why we have 5 members on the team. So yeah, this path, basically every 7 seconds, I think, you're going to gain a poison. And then every time you hit the opponent, you're going to gain a incinerate pretty much. Now, with skill champions, you can dash back to purify any debuff on you. So even if you have like a ton of debuffs, if you just keep dashing back, as you see me doing, you'll start to lose the debuffs. So yeah, I'm using Kingpin and Hood right here. Kingpin with the Hood synergy to purify debuffs extremely fast. And yeah, so Kingpin is amazing for this path. I'm using 3 skill champs here: Kingpin, Nick Fury, and Hitmonkey. There is the bleed vulnerability node, which makes you do way more damage if you have a bleed on the opponent. So using Nick Fury would be ideal here. He is the fastest attacker out of these 3 for this path, just because of those bleeds and the bleed vulnerability node. And as you can see here, he works great for this path. He doesn't have the best purify, but with the dashing back to remove the debuffs, he works amazing. I would highly recommend Nick Fury, and if you have a 6-star Nick Fury, you could probably solo this whole entire path with him. Also, Kingpin and Hood work great, as you'll see. I did bring in Hitmonkey as my 3rd skill champ, but he just doesn't work that well because he doesn't really purify that well, and I was just taking a bunch of damage when I used him. So just keep that in mind. You want to bring your top skill champs here, your top purifiers, and you're going to be having a fun time. It's not the hardest path. However, the boss is quite annoying. So I just want to talk about the other bosses and why I chose this path. So first of all, I want to choose paths where you don't really need anything too niche, anything too specific, like really specific counters. And for the Electro Luke boss, pretty much the best counter is Falcon, and besides him, I really don't know who works very well against that boss. So I figured if I made a video fighting the Electro Luke boss here for the easy path, and I said to use Falcon and you didn't have him, I don't really have another recommendation to give, so I didn't want to choose either of those two paths that led to that boss, because you kind of need Falcon for that fight, or like Hercules, you know, and just nuke through it. But I didn't want to say to go for that path, just in case you guys don't have Falcon or Hercules. Now the next boss, which I do think is the easiest boss, it is Night Carnage. I think that's his name. But it's the Nightcrawler Carnage mashup. And if you do have Scorpion, I really recommend going for that boss, because it's just very easy with Scorpion. Just stay in your normal form with the poisons. There's poison vulnerability on that path, and he will shock you, but you'll be immune to it if you use Scorpion with the poison debuffs. So if you guys have Scorpion, I really recommend going for the Nightcrawler boss. And then for the path that leads to him, really just go with whatever path works best for your account. But I found that Mystic path works very well. You want to use Mystic champs that don't have Nullify, Stagger, or Neutralize, because you want the opponents to gain buffs. And then you want to throw your special attacks, and it builds poisons. So I did a practice run myself, and I found that Dr. Doom was the best option for me. I just built up to special 2 a bunch of times, and I think like 3 special 2s killed most of the defenders, and I used my 5-star Doom. So I used Hood, but he staggered way too much and it just wasn't good. I used Tigra, it wasn't good. Absorbing Man, he worked pretty well, but not as good as Doom, so I highly recommend that. And yeah, so that's all I have to say about the other paths. If you have good Mystics and Scorpion, I highly recommend taking that path that leads to Night Carnage. And yeah, if you have really good skill champs, or like a lot of skill champs, I recommend this path. And for the boss, Punishing Angel, we'll get to that later. I'll have a long time to talk about it, because it is like a 7-minute boss fight. But yeah, I'll just keep commentating about this path right here in the fights. So Abomination obviously puts poisons on you, but if you have a strong purifier like Kingpin, you'll not have any worries. And if you do get poisons on yourself, just dash back and you'll get rid of them. The small problem for Kingpin on this path is that when you dash back to get rid of the debuffs, you accidentally get rid of your own rage debuffs. So as you're building up to overpower, if you dash back, you'll start removing your rages. So it's a bit annoying, but it's fine. It doesn't really matter too much. And yeah, so we're on the Symbiote Supreme here. Not the easiest defender, not the hardest defender either though. But yeah, since I was using a 5-star, this fight ended up taking quite a while, and I do end up dying, I'm pretty sure, which is a bit unfortunate, because as the fight goes on, he just keeps getting more and more power and just spamming those specials, and then I'm pretty sure I end up dying here, but that's alright. If you are using Kingpin, I highly recommend bringing in the Hood as well. You can bring in the 4-star, all you need is the synergy, and you'll just be able to purify things way faster, and you don't really need to worry about dashing back, so you don't accidentally remove your own rage debuffs, as you can see I just did right there. But yeah, 7.1.5 is definitely the toughest quest so far in Act 7. The Punishing Angel boss is probably the toughest boss that we've come across so far in Act 7. And maybe out of most Act 6 bosses as well. Obviously, if you have like the wrong counter, for example against Medusa, then that might be a very tough fight, but I'm just saying, like, with the proper counters, I still think this boss is quite difficult. After I recorded this video, I did do the first path of the Crucible, and as you see there, I just got absolutely wrecked. So, but I did do the first path of the Crucible, and I did fight every single Act 7 boss in 7.1 and 7.2. And Punishing Angel, I used Doom in the Crucible as well as I did in this quest. The difference was I used my 6-star Doom in the Crucible and my 5-star Doom here. And the reason why I chose Doom is because he has so much block proficiency. And with the Punishing Angel fight, she's just going to be spamming special attacks, and you really want that block proficiency. The reason I'm bringing that up is because in the Crucible, it went very well, and I did solo her. However, in this quest, I do die with Doom, mainly because of the chip damage. And the other thing is my damage output with the 5-star was, you know, pretty bad, obviously. With Act 7, there's always a boost to 6-star champions damage. So when you bring in a 5-star, these fights really take extra long compared to if you're using a 6-star. But if you only have 5 stars, it could still work, obviously. And that's what I'm showing you guys here. But the reason why I do use 6 stars in my videos is because I don't want them to take too long. I just want to show you guys like the proper counters and their utility and the reason why they're a good counter, and not so much proving to you guys that I can beat these quests with 5 stars. But for this one, I just wanted to really reassure you guys that you can use 5 stars in any of these quests, and you don't have to worry. But yeah, one thing to note there about that Yellow Jacket fight, if you do get hit by the Power Sting, just dash back to get rid of it. You don't have to worry about getting stunned or throwing a special and getting Power Sting, but yeah, just remember that. Now the second reason why I don't use 5 stars in my guide videos is because look at my 5-star roster. It's terrible. So I don't really want to rank up 5 stars just for these videos, you know, and that I'll never use again. So, but yeah, so here we go. For Punishing Angel, we got Mercy. Basically, you have to dex to build the Mercy charges, and then you parry, and then you'll do more damage. So you'll see what I mean in a second. Basically, I'm gonna try to build up to special 2. You do more special attack damage in this fight, and you do more damage when she has the Mercy things on her. So you can see the green heart under Dr. Doom. I have 3 of them right now, and then under Punishing Angel there's 0. Once you parry, you transfer all the ones you have to her, and then it counts down. I think each one lasts 1.5 seconds. And during that time, you do more damage. And it's, to be honest, not that much more damage, but it's still worth it to build up these charges. So as you can see, I'm dexing to build up charges. I'm going to get to 20 just to give myself some time to do some damage. So after I'm at 20, I'm going to parry. And now you can see over on her side, they're counting down. And there's my timer to do damage. So now I'm throwing a special 2 to try to get as much damage as possible. I'm also trying not to push her to special 2 in this fight, because once she gets to special 2, she starts gaining prowess. And her special attacks are just going to be doing more damage for the rest of the fight. And you don't really want to be taking all that chip damage, because as you see here, we've only done 16% of her health, and I'm already down 20%, 22% now. So she is actually out damaging us just from blocking attacks. So if you do push her to special 2, she's going to gain prowess, and every single time she does a special attack for the rest of the fight, it's going to be doing more block damage. And that's just not what you want. So as you can see here, the damage that we're doing is pretty pathetic. This fight literally took me forever. It's a 7-minute boss fight between Doom and I think I finished with Nick Fury. But yeah, basically just keep dexing to build those charges and then parry to transfer it and then do damage. For my recommendation for who to bring in, obviously like I said, Doom because of the high block proficiency, but not only that, if you do accidentally push her to special 2, you can steal her power to get her back under 2 bars, so that's why I brought Doom. But I just recommend bringing in your best champs. Like, no champ is really gonna be dominant here, but obviously like you can use Hercules on a like he's not gonna work great for the path, but if you bring him in here, he could work. Champions that do a ton of special attack damage would be great. Maybe Apocalypse. He also has some decent block proficiency. I believe Magneto might have been a better choice because I'm pretty sure Punishing Angel's metal, and then if you just dex to build the charges and then do your special 3 rotation, you should do a bunch of damage. And she does get regens throughout this fight, which Doom can nullify, but Magneto can just like lower the healing to 0 pretty much. And I think Magneto would be a great counter here. So Magneto, Doom, and then any champion that does big special attack damage, or just any of your best champs will work here. There's not really any champs that won't work, but just keep in mind you're going to be taking a bunch of block damage. One interesting option is Stark Spidey, because when you dex with Stark Spidey, you build up his charges and he does a bunch of damage afterwards. And in this fight, you're obviously going to be dexing a lot. And I think Stark Spidey could be a good option, but he just doesn't really have that much health. And his block proficiency is not that good. So while you might do more damage, you might die a lot faster. So it's just really up to you. And like I said before, maybe you guys weren't listening, or maybe just skipped to this part, but if you have Scorpion, just go fight the Nightcrawler boss, and that boss is way easier if you have Scorpion. So I highly recommend fighting the other boss, taking the other path. But yeah, you could really do either path here. You could do this skill path and fight Punishing Angel, or you could do the Mystic path and fight the Nightcrawler boss. But yeah, I might even make another video on the other path just to show that off. But just trust me, if you have Scorpion, do the other path. I didn't really mention it because I was rambling on, but we obviously did die with Doom there. Just, you know, the chip damage got me, all the block damage. But with Nick Fury here, we still have our second life, and we're still in a good spot. So as you see, I'm transferring all those things to her. I got like 15 seconds left to do damage, and it's just the damage is not very good with 5 stars, I'm not gonna lie. And obviously if you boost up, it'll be better, but I didn't use any boost here, and it's just 5 stars, so that's why this video is so long. But yeah, if you guys want to see me make a video on the other path that I keep mentioning, comment down below and I'll make it. But yeah, I feel like this path isn't very hard still. I think it is very easy. It might not be as easy as the other one, but it's really just up to what you have on your account. Like if you have skill champs, this path. If you have mystics, do the other path. You know, if you have Scorpion, do the other path. If you don't, I would fight this boss. And yeah, this fight is finally almost over. We're just gonna transfer these and then take her out. And yeah, so let's just see the ending of the fight right here. Big damage finally, now that we're in our second life with Nick Fury. And she is done. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like it, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back very soon for 7.1.6, and we'll see you guys again very soon. Peace out.